When you were asked to talk about the benefits of using interactive whiteboards for your scholars, most of you talked about the TechLearn article's benefit that says that the whiteboards make it easy for teachers to enhance presentation content, and this is because they allow you to integrate material in different types like pictures and graphs and the internet and text and files and all these other types of objects. But then you also talked about the interactive nature of the whiteboard and how, for example, you could use learner response devices and also the interactive whiteboard reinforcer. And then last but not least, you also talked about the recordability characteristic, which allows you to save what you've done on the board to email, to store, to reuse, to deconstruct and analyze. So what we can do with the interactive whiteboard is we can project information, we can do things on the whiteboard, and we can engage students with the whiteboard. So what can we project? We can project text, images, video, audio, animations, and different types of documents that contain a combination of these as well as games. But what can you do when it is not just projecting some information that somebody else has done? You can annotate, you can draw, you can resize, you can duplicate objects on the screen, you can remove objects from the screen, you can rotate, and you can move. And so when you think about how you can engage your students, what you want to do is you want to have your students do all these kinds of actions while they are interacting with the concepts and skills that they are supposed to learn in the subject. So going to the literature to think about these things, the interactive whiteboards are really better for supporting whole class interactions and not as good for supporting small group interactions. And the reasons for this is that we normally only have one smartboard in the classroom, and so we normally ease into using it for activities that entail the entire group. And the other thing is that most whiteboards available nowadays, unless they are newer models, they really only allow you to input in one spot at the same time. So you cannot do gestures like we can do with the iPad nowadays, where we can pinch and resize and move things around with more than one finger. So what if, in addition to the interactive whiteboard, we also had an interactive tabletop with the capability of multiple touch points? Now we know, if we remember from the Geico commercial, so easy a caveman can do it. Interactive boards nowadays, tablet computers, have become so easy that even babies can do it. And so it is reasonable to believe that we could have all these types of interactions in our classroom with interactive whiteboards and tabletops and iPads. So previously, when kids tried to interact with computers, they basically had to make that connection that what I'm doing here causes something to happen here. But from what we learn from child development, we remember that in the stages of development, kids at young ages were at the concrete stages of thinking. And to make matters worse, they really don't have their motor skills very well developed. So what's happening with our newest interactive tablets and whiteboards is that there's direct input. What the kid is processing the movements they're doing with their hands are translating into the devices they're interacting with. And that's the reason why it's made them very easy to grasp how to interact with these kinds of devices.